I want to say we're thankful to be here this evening. We've enjoyed being here thus far, enjoyed the good messages that's been brought, and enjoyed the good singing that we sang, and we've just enjoyed being here. And we would ask you to have patience with us. We know we've been here a little while, but nevertheless, the Lord's given us a thought, and we'll try our best to bring forth what the Lord has given us here tonight. Our thought, and I don't know, I'm getting old. If you can't tell by looking, I am. And I can't remember stuff like I used to, and I don't know if I've preached on this subject here or not. But nevertheless, this is the way I feel the Lord's leading. We're going to follow Him here tonight. Our thought would come from 2 Kings in chapter 5, if you've got your Bibles and want to read along. I'm not going to read the whole lesson that I've got, but we'll try to go through it. But we are going to start out reading the first verse of 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper." Now, Naaman, he was, as the scriptures here tell us, he was the captain of the Syrian army, and the Syrians were the enemies of Israel. They were the enemies of God's people. But we do find that Syria was able to deliver Israel into their hands, and that was because God allowed that to happen. It was because of their sin that God allowed their enemies to overtake them. But we see Naaman here. He was great, a man with his master, with the king. The king of Syria thought highly of him because he was a mighty warrior. He was a courageous man. He was able, no doubt, being a captain of many men, he was able to gather up the troops, I guess you might say, to lead others into battle, to take them into positions that were fearful and cause them to fight and to be victorious. And it says he was a mighty man in valor, honorable man. He was all of these great things. No doubt he didn't want for anything in his home. Him being a man so well high thought of the king, no doubt the king compensated him. He probably had a nice home that he lived in, clothes that he wore that were very nice, I'm sure. He was all of these things, but it also says here in the verse that we read that he was a leper. Now, leprosy was a skin disease. It was something that was looked at as shameful to have. Leprosy, we said it was a skin disease. It was I picture it being looking like warts that are all over your skin, your face. It's not any particular place that it can be. It can be anywhere on their body. And it was a terrible disease or a plague to have. Now, Naaman was all of these other good things, I guess that we might say according to men, but he had this plague that he was a leper. He had this awful disease. And we want to read to you a little bit about leprosy in Leviticus in chapter 13. And we'll just say this real quick, that in Leviticus 13 and 14, it tells about leprosy. And there are two big chapters. According to the rest of the scriptures that are in the Bible, they're very lengthy. I think there's 58 verses in one, 59 in the other, and they ain't 2-word verses. They're pretty good size. So this leprosy and what is being taught in those 2 chapters is how to treat the disease. And we find that we want to read out of Leviticus 13 and 44. It says, "He is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head." And in verse 46 it said, "All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled, he is unclean. He shall dwell alone, without the camp shall his habitation be." Now, here we see that the Scriptures are telling us that the priest will declare those that have this plague of leprosy of being unclean. And, sinner friend, we want to talk to you a little bit here tonight, not about a leprosy of the skin, not about of an outward plague, not about an outward disease that is of the body, but we want to talk to you about a plague or a disease of your soul. And I believe we can use these scriptures. They could be symbolic of an outward condition that relates to an inward condition, and that being of your soul, that if you are lost and separated from God, you are just like a leper. You have been declared unclean. You are undefiled. You are defiled in the eyes of God, and you are dwell alone. That you are without the camp, outside of the habitation. You know, it was made mention here earlier about how that we've all gathered together here tonight, and there were some that was laughing, and there were some that was joyous being here tonight. And listen, you may be amongst people that are saved. You may enjoy being with us, but if you are lost and separated from God, you are separated from us. You are you are outside the camp. You dwell alone. But now listen. It says that the priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. Listen, it is not me that looks at somebody and says, "You are lost, you are unclean." It is the priest of the Lord, our high priest. He is the one who lets you know that you are defiled in his eyes, that you are unclean. And listen, the high priest, though, has made a way that you can be healed of this leprosy that you have, this plague that you have of being lost and separated from God. This high priest, Jesus, he has the cure. Listen, these lepers, they could come before the priest there in that time, and there was just maybe a hope that they could be healed. But now listen, if you are lost and separated from God, Jesus has the cure. Jesus will save your soul if you'll put your trust and faith in Him. And listen, these lepers in this day of the kings of the time there when Israel, in the scriptures that we are reading from, the lepers didn't go to a doctor, but they went to a priest. They went to the priest to get the cure. The point in that is we want to make is there's not a man that can save you or cure you from this disease of being lost and separated from God. Only the high priest, only the Lord can fix your condition. Listen, we are nothing. Listen, a lot of preachers put a lot of prestige or power upon them own selves in telling people that they can save them, or tell them to tell people to repeat words and then tell them that they're saved. Listen, I'm not able to tell anybody that you are saved, because just like this plague, it is on the inside. It is on the inside of you, and I'm not able to look on the inside of anybody, and I'm not able to heal anybody, but I can give you the prescription. I can tell you about the one who can fix your leprous soul, and that is Jesus Christ. He is the great physician. He is able to fix things men cannot fix. And listen, men can't fix you if you're lost and separated from God. Only Jesus Christ can, and He has paid the price for you. Your leprosy can be healed by His blood. He paid the price for you that you could be saved. We think about the woman that had the issue of blood. It says that she suffered for 12 or 11 years, whatever that it was, with this issue of blood. It said that she suffered many physicians and spent all of the money she had. She tried, men. She tried spending her money. She didn't get any better, but that she got worse. And listen, those of you that are here lost and separated from God, you can try doctors, you can try men, but if you are lost and separated from God, you're not going to get any better. Seeking out men, spending your money, you're only not going to get better, but you are only going to get worse. But then it says that woman that had the issue of blood, that she heard about Jesus. She heard about Him. And she sought Him out, and she touched the hem of His garment. She had faith that if she would just touch but the hem of His garment, that she would be whole, made whole. And she did. She reached out and touched His garment, and it wasn't just simply because she took that action. It was her show of faith that she believed in Jesus Christ, that He would heal her, and He did, and it didn't happen over a period of time, but it was immediately that she was fixed. But we want to get back to this man Naaman. We want to talk to you a little bit more about him. There was a little maid that Naaman had that waited on his wife. And the little maid, she was a slave that was taken from the children of Israel. And she waited on Naaman's wife. And this little maid, she told Naaman's wife about a prophet that could help Naaman with his leprosy. And that he was in Israel, and that the prophet there, that he could help her husband. Listen, you would think that just goes against our nature, does it? Not to want to help our enemies. We would almost think that her being enslaved to them, that she wouldn't have a care for them. But now listen, when you are a saved person, it don't matter who the other person is, whether they're your friend or whether that they're your enemy. We hope and pray that you get saved by the grace of God. We ought to have and do have a love for all people, that they would come to know the Lord, that they would be healed of that sin-sick soul condition that they're in, that they would be made clean, be made alive, be born again, and have a life that was peaceful, and have a life that was that you could be content with. But she told Naaman about someone who could help her. And he went, I'm cutting it short, but he took gold, and he took clothes, and he went to Israel to seek out this prophet. And I've cut out some of the account of it here. I almost wanted to say a story, but it's not a story. It's the truth. This is a true account of something that happened. This here is fact. It's not fiction. It's not a fairy tale. It's real, the things that are in the Bible. But Naaman, he was instructed to go to Elisha's house. And Elisha was the prophet in Israel at that time. And when Naaman came to the door of the house of Elisha, that Elisha sent his messenger out to him and told him, said, "Go and wash thyself in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come to thee, and thou shalt be clean." See, Elisha sent a messenger. didn't he? Now, I don't know what y'all think about me. I don't know what y'all think about Brother Wyndham. I don't know what y'all think about Brother JC. But we are nothing more than messengers of the Lord. We have come to try to instruct you on what you need to do to be healed of the soul-sick condition that you're in. That you need to be saved. That you need to be born again. Because listen, the consequences are that you're either going to go to heaven if you're saved, or you're going to go to hell if you die. You need to be saved, or that you don't go to that awful place called hell. And I want to say this real quick. The thoughts just come to me. This leprosy, to have it was we've already made mention of it. It was a dreaded disease. It was a plague. It was something that probably brought shame upon the one that had it. You know, if you're lost and separated from God, and in Naaman, he couldn't help it that he was a leper. He didn't do anything that caused him to have leprosy. And listen, the point I want to make there is if you're lost and separated from God, you can't help that happened. If everybody who reaches the age of accountability, there will come a time when you become lost and separated from God. There's a time when you are young that you are safe in the hand of God, but there comes a point in your life, and God will let you know this also, when you are separated from Him. Now, the point we're wanting to try to make here is, it should be a shame to be lost and separated from God, but you can't help that happen. But the shame in that is that you stay in that condition because there has been a way made that you could be healed of that sickness. Just like that Naaman couldn't help it that he was a leper, but there was a way made that he could be healed from it. And the messenger was sent to him and gave him instructions on how to be healed of it. He was to go and dip himself 7 times in the Jordan River. And it says in the Bible that Naaman was wrought and he went away. It says and said, "Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, stand and call on the Lord, the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leprosy." See, Naaman thought, because of who he was, here's this great honorable man who no doubt people thought highly of him, treated him probably different than a whole lot of other folks in this life. And he thought that he would be treated special when it came to being healed of this leprosy. And when the instructions was given unto him, what happened? He got mad about it. He thought he'd be done different. He thought that the man of God would just come out there and touch him, and that he'd be made whole, that he would be treated special. And listen, what we want to try to tell you here tonight is that, listen, everyone who gets saved, they all come the same way. No one is treated any bit different, no respecters of persons with God. If you get saved, you'll get saved just like I did, just like Brother Wyndham did, just like Brother JC did, just like King David did, a king. We all got saved the same way. Repentance toward God and faith in Jesus Christ. And listen, you preach that today, and there will be a people that get mad. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about that knee right way. They don't want to hear about surrendering unto Christ. But you know what Naaman did? He surrendered. He surrendered. Listen, that went against his nature, didn't it? Here was a man that was a warrior. He was to fight, and he would fight till the death. But he had to surrender. You're going to have to surrender. If you're lost, there's no need in fighting it. That's a battle you can't win on your own. The Lord has already fought the battle, and if you'll surrender unto Him, He'll save your soul. He thought he could just go to the rivers of his home country where the rivers were clean and dip in them. You know, do it his way. That's what he wanted. He wanted to do it his way. Listen, you're not going to get saved your way. None of us get saved our way. We come the Lord's way or you don't get it at all. You either surrender unto Jesus and repent unto the Lord and put your trust and faith in Him, or you die and go to the devil's hell. There's no other. That's it. And I want to read to you verse 13, 2 Kings 5. His servants came near, seen that Naaman's all tore up, bent out of shape, mad. I'll tell you what, I don't know how many services y'all been in, but I've heard testimonies of people that heard the gospel and they just got plumb bent out of shape about it. Got mad. Just got plumb mad about it when people talk to them about being lost. Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to make anybody mad. That is not my goal. I want you to, it's just my nature to want people to be a friend. But if I make you mad about telling you about the Lord, so be it. It's not my intent. My intent is to help, to tell you about the Lord. And listen, if it makes you mad, well, so be it. And I've heard of those that got mad and went out the door pouting mad, and listen, the Lord bring them down and they got saved. Amen. Yep. Now, if that happens, I don't care if you ever tell me you're my friend. I'm just be glad that you got saved. Amen. I remember what the preacher told me, that I was defiled, that I was separated from God, and he told me how to fix it, that no man could fix it for me, that I couldn't fix it on my own, but that Jesus could. And I repented and called on Him and put my trust in Him and called on Him until I knew that leprosy was gone. You know how you'll know when that leprosy's gone? You'll feel that peace in your heart. Right in here. Right down in here. You'll know all about it. The Lord will let you know about it. It won't be something like it. You'll probably be going, what happened? Because it'll be something you've never felt before. Because there's going to be that time of shame of that leprosy, and just right on the next hand, right in the next second, you're as clean as a whistle. The servants came to Naaman and they said, listen, if the man of God had told you to do some great thing, would you have not done it? If he'd have told him to go climb Mount Everest, would he have not tried it? If he'd have told him to swim the Amazon River, would he have not went and done it? He would have tried, because people think that salvation is within their own power. But it ain't. It's not. You have to surrender to Jesus. And I'll say this. You might say, and my name's Tony Allen, by the way. You might say, Tony, I can't get saved. I can't. Well, number one, that's the devil talking to you. Because it's the Lord's will that all men be saved. The Lord wants everybody to be saved. The Lord don't want anybody to be a leper, spiritually. He is not asking you to do something that you are not capable of doing. And when I say that, I hope I'm not trying to put the emphasis on that you did it. But there is something you have to do. You have to be of a broken heart and a contrite spirit, and you have to go to the Lord. Now, if you have that mind about you that you are able to understand what I just talked to you about, the Lord's not asking you to do anything that you are not able to do. I realize there's people that are mentally challenged. And I believe the Lord has a special place for them. The Lord knows their situation. But I believe I'm talking to people tonight here that are able to understand exactly what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying. And listen, He's not asking you to do backflips. You know, if it had been that, if the Lord had said you got to do a backflip to get saved, you know what I'd have done? I'd have probably died with a broken neck, because I can't do no backflip. And I doubt there could be some here that could. When I was younger, I might could have given it a try, but I couldn't have made it. The point I'm trying to make here is, the Lord's not asking you to do something that can't be accomplished. If you'll surrender unto Him, He will save your soul. It says that Naaman went, dipped himself 7 times. You know what happened to him when he come up that 7th time? He was as clean as he could be. That old diseased skin that he had, it was gone. And he was clean. He was born again, I guess you might say. He come to Christ. He believed in Him. He done he followed what the messenger told him to do. He put his trust and faith in that. And he was born again. You might say, and listen, you might say, well, how do you know how I think, Brother Tony? Because I've been in your shoes before. Well, the devil, he works on everybody. He'll try to tell you can't get saved. He'll try to tell you there ain't no need in trying. He'll try to tell you you're making a fool of yourself. You don't think that Naaman probably didn't feel a little foolish doing what he did? He might have, because you see, he was a man that had pride about him. You know what? You don't have to be a man of mighty valor to have pride. Poor people have pride, just like rich people have pride. And pride will send you right off into a devil's hell is what it'll do. But you might say, I can't be saved. The Lord won't save me. It won't happen. There again, I've done said the devil, he's the one doing that because he's working right here. That's where Satan's working, is in your head. But I'm here to tell you that the Lord will save you if you'll come to Him with a broken heart and a contrite spirit and surrender unto Him and believe on Him with all your heart. We got one verse we want to read out of Matthew, or 3 verses out of Matthew 8, starting at verse 1. It says, when he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed Him. And behold, there came a leper, and worshipped Him, saying, Lord, if Thou will, Thou canst make me clean. See, this leper, he come to Jesus, and he knew, the leper knew, Lord, you can fix me, can't you? You can do it. I know you can. See, there was faith there, wasn't it? And I'll say this. When you're seeking the Lord, don't doubt Him. Don't doubt Him. Believe. You have to believe. If you doubt, you're not going to get it. Believe that He'll save you, and He will. He wants to. It says, if Thou will, Thou canst make me clean. And Jesus put forth His hand and touched him, saying, I will. Be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. See, it didn't happen in stages. It didn't happen in all these other kinds of different ways that we hear people talk about. The way that it happens is the way with this leper that it happened to him. That he put his trust in the Lord and asked Him to heal him, and He did, and immediately it happened. Now, I've got a testimony. I was down in the floor at Goodwill calling on the Lord, didn't know 2 cents about the Bible, didn't know. I could have told you just a few little things. I didn't know nothing, and I don't claim to know much today. No, don't take it like I'm trying to say I know a lot today. But you don't have to know a lot. You don't have to know a lot about the Bible, but here's what you do got to know. You got to know you're lost. If you are lost, you got to realize that. And you got to realize that Jesus is the one who can save you. And that's what I knew. That's what I knew. And I bowed and I called on Him, and there was a trouble in me knowing that if I died, that I was going to go to a devil's hell, that I was a leper. And I wanted to be healed. And I don't know how long I called on the Lord, but when I met His conditions, He saved my soul. It was just like that right there. And I thank God for it. And I could go and tell you all about it. We'd be here for a while. That'd be okay if the Lord put that on me to do that, but He's not. I'm just saying, when you get it, it'll be like that. And you won't be asking me for it. You won't be asking Mom and Daddy for it. You won't be asking anybody else for it, but you'll be asking the Lord for it. Seek Him out. Call upon Him. Put your trust in Him, and He'll save your soul. That's our message. I appreciate you listening.